What's your boy Cal? One something of the Where's Buffy podcast. Salutes to fam. Salutes to Broc, Rem, Kill, Diz, Math, whole team. Whole time, whole squad. Yeah, we rocking and we chilling right now. We big chilling right now. You actually never know what you'll get with the Black Wrestling Podcast, especially up under the umbrella. You can't. There's too much going on in the world for us to keep things one way, and it's always fun to have something like the Buffy around because a lot of what Black Wrestling does is built off of what the Buffy has done, and a lot of the moves that the Buffy's made, and what the Buffy's really about. And it's always great to come over here and say, hey, I can have these same crazy opinions, but about hip hop or, the type of clothes I like to wear as a grown man living in America at this time in 2023. Speaking of my brothers, one of my brothers is around. Look at that.
Hola.
Broc, I just been sitting here talking to myself for like 4.5 minutes.
I mean, God bless you, man. God bless
you. Hey, I'm just trying. We said 8:30, and I know some people got things going on. I really don't even know what we're doing this week. We kind of we're
winging it.
It's been busy, is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What was you? What was the conversation you was having with yourself?
What was the conversation I was having with myself? I was talking about it being dope to like do what I do in terms of like pro wrestling or whatever, and then be able to come over here to the Buffy and have these types of conversations as well. I was actually, the question was because I also realized this is the last weekend of Black History Month. It's over like that. What do people do to celebrate Black History Month at this point?
I don't think I've ever celebrated Black.
Does Black History Month mean anything to you? Salute the fan.
It means a lot more to my son.
In school?
Yeah, because like I'm noticing that he's gonna like come to me with different like things that he wants to know about. You know what I mean? Like things that I've already taught him. And he's like, "Oh shit, Daddy! What they talking about in school? Is this real?"
That's happening to me right now. Yeah,
he just asked me. He was like, when slaves were, when they had kids, were they slaves too? I was like, "Yeah, nigga."
Yeah.
Like the last time, he was like, this was when he was really young. He was like, you telling me they didn't get paid? Because like it's something to tell them, but it's not contextualized and shit until they get a little older and stuff. So it's like, yeah. So I mean, it's not just all about slavery, but like
no, but that's a big one. I think, especially being like a Black dad in these days, you kind of have to have some of those conversations. You don't want to scare the kid, but it's. The shit is real, especially for Black boys. I know black people in general, Black boys in particular, get targeted. So from the police and everybody else. So you kind of have to just sit them down and be like, "Look, this is what's happened. This is life, and here are the keys to kind of get through it." But
so here's the question. Shout out to brothers. You know what I mean? Shout out to Broc. Shout out to Cal. Because I feel like we spend a great deal focusing on like the really tough part about like being a Black dad, right? But it's some really cool stuff. Yeah. Like yesterday, if you watch Black Wrestling, you know what I'm saying? If you watched Black Wrestling last night, you saw Lil Fam come in the frame, and this little nigga had a whole tattoo sleeve, right? You got the Amazon tattoo sleeve.
His shit was on here like this.
And when I tell you niggas is hit me like, yo, your son tat is fire. That ain't real. You know what I'm saying? And but the cool part was sitting here watching, like it's really cool, and because we what up Rem? We spend a huge time talking about the weight of Black fatherhood and how important it is, right?
Mhm.
But I don't think we spend enough time talking about your return on investment.
Yeah.
Because what you pour into your child as a Black dad, when you start to, that stuff starts coming back, and you start to see your lessons regurgitated to you.
Right.
It's like you sitting there like, yeah,
I did it. I did that. Yeah.
So I think it's really important for us to show the B side of the game every time, and that is, everybody preaches one side. We have to make sure that we give them both sides of the game, because I feel like we'll do a disservice, because when we preach all this heft, this weight to like being a Black father, like it's like, well, god dang, I don't want to stick around for these little niggas, like, you know what I'm saying? But when you start to like see the dope Black fathers that are seeing the fruits born, you know what I'm saying? It's really dope. So I want to make sure the good part about Black fatherhood is shown, because nigga, it's super important. My bad.
Yo, let me say this to you. I just had this conversation with somebody else or whatever, but like when you think about it, right? So you think about like our parents or whatever, right? So those parents before them were just trying to make a way for them to like just live.
Yeah.
Our parents were trying to make a way for us to live and didn't think about like how our mental health was or no shit like that. We got money enough to take care of our kids and also talk to them like people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like our parents before us, like they was groomed with people was like, nigga, if you got some food, you good.
Yeah.
You know? Like don't
you hungry?
Yeah. I'm not saying everybody had that similar situation or whatever, but it's like kind of the same thing with most Black families or whatever. But us as Black fathers right now, we got enough money to make sure that you're good and you eat. And what are your dreams? Like, what do you want to do? You know what I mean?
Right.
Versus like it just being like about survival and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a blessing, you know, when you think about it in that way.
You kind of, I think, like, you kind of got to. It's because in anything you kind of want to be a good example for the future. And if Black dads look back at this in 20 years and all they hear is "damn how hard it is to be a Black dad," then there may not be as many Black kids in, you know, that generation, whatever, you know. So yeah, no, it's an excellent point. And I think, but back to we were talking about what it's like being that Black dad during Black History Month.
Oh yeah.
And your kid come, because especially over the last couple of years, my son is very like he's into that history stuff. So when he started to put all the stuff together and civil rights and the Jim Crow and all that stuff, I'm like, yeah, nigga, like, and this is, and then I get to sit down and be like, yeah, and now you see how all the fruits of this and why I try and get you to act a certain way and be a certain way out in the world. It's but because that's the thing, Broc, it's always amazing to get those, like, get those lessons, you know, thrown back at you when you knew you threw those darts. I told you a couple years ago about this, but you know, yeah, let's sit down and see that. It's dope to see that with everything: sneakers, girls, God, whatever they into, you know what I mean, and have them conversations and then be able to see them grow up.
At the end of the day, like, you as a father, I mean, this ain't just a Black dad thing or whatever, but you as a father is like, you know, you the authority at some point. You know what I'm saying? So like they're looking at you like, let me see if what he's saying is right. And then they go out into the world and say like, oh shit, this nigga told me some right shit. Like,
can I ask y'all a question? Like, I know all of y'all got kids different. All of us got kids different ages. We in different levels and stages of the game. I think I'm in the youngest stage. That's why I'm asking this. Have y'all had to talk to y'all children? Everybody got a son here at least, right? Have y'all had to talk to y'all children about the police and how they interact with the police? And if you have, give me some game on that for when I have that conversation.
So the thing is, I think that Brock and I have Brock, me and Cal. I think our sons are really, really close in age. Lil Fam is 13.
Yeah.
And it's a point now where you have to teach, and it's the thing that at this point I love it. It's more than because niggas don't talk about it enough, but the concepts of should versus is. How things should be, how they are, right? Because should isn't that important. It is, but it ain't. Like, because should is cute, but I don't have time for cute as a black father, right? I have time for is. I need my son to come back to me. So when you're out and about, the police should talk to you with respect. But you know what? They might not. You know what I'm saying? And I won't put it in his head that they will not. You got to put it in their head they might not, because that might change their interaction, right? Because that's the truth. The truth is it's 50-50 on what you're going to get. It's like rolling the dice when the police roll up on you.
Exactly.
So you come out, I don't know how they're going to act, but I know how I'm going to act. I'm going to be respectful. I am going to be the child and the person that my father and mother raised. You know what I'm saying? For the most part, I can't guarantee a police actions, but for the most part, if you get the actions that I said for you to do, you should walk away with your life and your dignity together. 100%. And that can be problematic with the police.
Yeah.
But if you maintain your,
I think your Wi-Fi was slowing up.
Well, I mean, I build onto what he's saying. You know, I agree with everything you just said. I would also say that another thing that I teach my son or whatever is like, you know, like a lot of things that happen to people is because they out of bounds and they doing things wrong in the first place.
Exactly.
So, like, not to say that something is not going to happen to you because of who you are. You know, because somebody can be tripping out because you are a black person doing whatever the fuck you doing this shit. But you don't have to, in the first place, have a fucked up registration, fucked up license,
right?
A fucked up car, and all this other shit. Like you got all the information to do it right.
Yeah, set yourself up to win.
Exactly.
Yeah, be like you know the laws and all this other shit before you get out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if all those things fail, like he was just saying, you know, like he didn't just say if all things fail, but I'm saying if all things fail, like it's not fair. It's not going to be fair or whatever. At the same time, like if I had any encounters with the police and shit, you know, you don't hold court on the fucking street.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, survive that encounter. Survive that encounter. And if you got all your shit together, you go to court and you get it right and shit. But a lot of times when people doing all that shit because they just out of bounds and they fucked off in the game already before they have that interaction. So, you know.
Yeah. And I think realistically, it's a lot of its approach as well. Like so kids are, you know how kids are, what they'll respond to and how they engage you in conversation. So if you don't talk to them normally, like, hey, sit your ass down, I'm about to tell you what the hell's going on. You know, you can't switch up. You got to just give it to them the way you got to give it to them. Be real with them and talk to them on their level, because I think they will engage with you more often if they have questions or if they, you know, saw something and they want to, you know, bring it to you to see what your thoughts are. It's always easy to do that. But yeah, I think for me it was easy because around the time my son was getting to that age of going into high school is around the time like the George Floyd stuff and everything. Like it's in the news. We in the house, like we sit down. We gonna have I remember it was January 6th, the day of January 6th. And it wasn't when it was happening because he was in school. When he came home and all that stuff was going on, and we were having a conversation about something that he had seen online, and then it was a perfect time to be like, look, you see what I was telling you about the other day with these people and the way they was acting? This is the end result if you let things go a certain way. So it, like, for me, it's always good to pick up on that type of stuff, but you gotta you got to meet them at their level and be straight up with them, because they're only going to respect you and hit you up more because of that.
And let me say this too, like, because you'll have these situations where something will happen to like a 10-year-old or 14-year-old, whatever. Those situations, although unfortunate, you should not have your child out of bounds like that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
there's certain situations where I don't let my son just walk randomly. Like, I mean, I know we grew up a different way where, you know what I mean? Like, we were just outside playing and doing whatever and all this other shit. But like, I'm not going to let him go out here and potentially, like, my son is almost as tall as me.
Right.
Somebody's going to look at him like he's an adult. And I don't think he has the verbiage or even the poise to handle a police officer. Like, it's nothing that I can tell him to handle that shit. Somebody just running down on him, whatever. I'm like, I would rather you just not do that shit.
Right.
I got the resources to take you to the store, you know, do all this other stuff, and we can handle all that stuff in the meantime, like catching you up to what's going on in the streets and shit. But I would, you know, when these people's getting like, they say like a 10-year-old guy, you know, cuffed up by the police and he crying and pissing on himself and shit. Like, yeah, because why the fuck you letting them out there do that shit? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, why would you let him go out there and do that? You know what I mean?
Fam made a great point when he said, like, you know, should versus is. Because when I have these, I have these conversations with a lot of my clients, who 95% of them are white. Actually, 100% of them are white. You know what I'm saying? So, but they always go back to that. Like, at the end of the conversation, it always like, oh, but it shouldn't be like that. And like, I'm not gonna lie to you, that shit burn me up when they say that. I don't let them know that, but I get angry because I'm like, that's so dismissive.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know they don't mean nothing by it. That's why I don't come at them. But inside, I'm just like, yeah, it shouldn't be, but I'm telling you how it is. Like,
Exactly.
If it shouldn't be, go talk to the motherfuckers in the hill and go get your peoples on the phone.
Well, because at that point you preach it to the choir. Like, I know it shouldn't be this way. You know it shouldn't be this way. But guess what? I'm gonna still be a black person in the situation. I'm gonna have to deal with it if that's what it comes to. But that's that. Like, nowadays it shouldn't be that way. Is the retweet on the whatever on the timeline? Like, you know, it's all back at my former employer. There was a point when I realized, I was like, yo, these people are fake woke. They folk, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just these people they out here, they know what this, they folk, they know what to say to get the likes, but the shit is all bananas.
Like
it's all fucking baloney.
They screen black and shit. Remember that people was making the screen black?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be transparent though. Like, I'm guilty of that. My damn.
You folk, you a folk,
you folk too?
No, not folk, but I wasn't conscious of it. Like when the Ukraine shit first kicked off.
Oh shit!
You know,
you can fall into that though.
Retweeting niggas love for Ukraine. Like, I'm like, why the fuck am I? I don't know shit about this shit.
I used to be like, but the thing is, it's like now if I like I've know a lot of Jewish people now. Like, I've had people that, you know, I know who Ukrainian things. So like, you know, if I got people that's in that struggle and I want, you know, show support, that's one thing. But because sometimes, especially these days, you could retweet one thing and then somebody random see that shit and be like, well, what the fuck is you doing signing with this person and blah blah blah. So it's hard to like you, but you said it earlier. So you got to set yourself up to win. Like, you kind of gotta know how to move because you already know how they're gonna move. So you just got to make sure you're sticking and moving.
I'm more or less like speaking on people who like do that shit, like, because they think it's the right thing to do.
Well, so that's the problem.
That's why you retweet this, you know, narrative or whatever, and you don't know shit about it. You don't know shit about the struggle. You don't know nothing. You just do it, you know, and be like, oh, I did my part. Like, how the fuck you didn't? Like,
yeah, I shot my 372 followers or now whoever that group is now seeing that I retweeted that one thing. It's
power to the people. Like,
I mean, I ain't judging people too crazy on that shit, man.
You
like,
can't,
like, because it's like trends and shit. But at the end of the day, like, I am judging some people if I know that they know what's up. Like, yo, you treating tweeting Ukraine shit and all this other stuff, yo. Like, them niggas don't care about us. I ain't never seen no Ukrainian nigga tweet nothing about black people. And
That's
shit.
and that's those are the other conversations you gotta have too.
I think now what it really boils down to is intent, right? So if your intent is, I want to be on the right side of all of this, right? But anything past that, listen, you're right. Them niggas don't care about black people over here, our struggles over here, how filthy this country's done us over this history. You know what I'm saying?
What's the right side of the Ukraine war?
Well, no. So no. All right, let's keep it a buck. The Russian niggas is wilding, right?
Yeah.
That the right side of it is,
I don't know, bro. Like, that's what I'm saying.
They're getting bullied over there.
It is right now.
I the things I don't know. I'm quick to admit these days I'm ignorant to the fact of why it's even a split, why they're beefing. I just know it looked crazy that that Andre the Giant is trying to beat up Lil David's ass over there. Look, that looks crazy from the jump. And
I would say that's what's being shown to you, right? And I'm not saying that that's not the case. I want to be clear. I ain't trying to get niggas kicked off the
no.
But I'm just saying none of us fucking know.
What, right.
None of us know, bro. None of us are Russian or Ukrainian or over there. Or look, peep this.
Actually, if I did my 23andMe, I'm 7.2% Ukrainian Russian.
That's a lot, yo. That's a lot.
That's a lot. That's a good amount.
That's why I don't like when this nigga wear these Malcolm X glasses. You know what I'm saying? Like, no,
it's a good combination of ignorance and nigga, because they are the Malcolm X's. However, if you look at them clearly,
there you go. There you go.
Man, because I'm styling on
it's ignorance, yo. It's ignorance.
What's the cowards on? But I was in motherfucking Nebraska. I worked for this place called Stratcom, Strategic Command. 9/11 happened. I watched the president fly in. I'm looking at it live out my window. I watched the president fly on the flight line, get off the plane, give a speech, get back on the plane, and fly out.
Mm-hmm.
I look back at the TV. 10 minutes later, that shit said live. CNN,
shit!
And the president taking off. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I just saw this nigga leave 10 minutes ago. Right. So I'm saying all that to say, shut the fuck up. Narratives is being
yeah. Get off this conversation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
They're telling you get up out of here.
Government on my bumper, man.
Yeah, that's the FBI guy on your phone. Like, hey.
Nigga said Malcolm X, the president, flying in Iraq,
9/11. Yeah.
And then your shit
the tape machines is rolling.
Yeah, he hit all the buzzwords. Every buzzword.
Let's go.
Check down the list.
Let's get away from this
shit. All you got to say is UFO and like one more thing.
Niggas know about Wu-Tang show or something. I don't know.
Hey, real talk tangent. You said that last episode was cringy. That last episode on Wu-Tang was cringy, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was, right?
It was aggressive.
You know the funny part about it though is the dude that it was about, because I don't want to spoil things for folks who haven't jumped in yet. But the dude that it was about was cringy. Like if you look over the history of my nigga Dirk, who I was always a huge fan of from the gate, from 36 Chambers, from Return to the 36 Chambers. I've been a huge fan of. There were some. I mean, the front of his album was a goddamn what's his name card, right?
No, it's his food stamp card or whatever, DBT card, yeah.
Food stamp card, yeah.
Right, and that was intentionally.
Yeah.
So, while he was problematic, I mean, he did some things that wrong, right?
He had one short era. That was a blip in time where he played that character.
But that era was about the making of that album. Like that's what that episode was about.
That album, though. That character, I'm trying not to give a lot away, but that character that you saw, that wasn't that album. That was actually the next album.
No, it was that album.
That would have been that would have been the promo run for the album, right?
I felt like that. I felt like that character directly, because you saw
what's the song? Brooklyn Zoo.
Brooklyn
The
Zoo.
whole album.
Where's that character in Brooklyn Zoo? That
It's
shit's grimy, bro. They is in the projects for real.
Yo,
But-
Brooklyn Zoo is not the whole album, yo.
right. That's the thing. Brooklyn
Wow,
Zoo,
that's
with the
the
majority of that album is
Right.
who that character was in that show. That
well,
you know what I mean, I got burnt once.
when you get to
and it was only gonorrhea.
hey,
Yeah, I got you,
baby,
man.
that's not on
That's
that
the second
album.
album. That's the
That's
second
the
album.
second album.
But that's
Right.
the problem with the
But-
show because they play
what
with the
I'm saying.
timelines too much.
If you was doing that for the second album, yes, I agree. But that first album was not that.
But see, this is why old niggas that was alive during that time frame should not watch that shit.
Me, you talking to me, Brock?
I'm talking to everybody in this
All of
fucking
us.
chat.
You talking to me right now?
But
Well,
he's
hold
trying
up.
to save himself because he don't watch.
Let me and I'm never going to watch that bullshit because I was alive and I seen everything that happened and shit.
Mm.
So when I watch
You
it,
ain't see everything, nigga. We
You
ain't
can't
had
call
no
it BS if you don't watch it, cuz. You can't call it
yeah.
BS if you ain't watching.
I did watch the first one and it's some nut ass shit. You got RZA looking like a dark skinned man. He looked like fucking Idris Elba. I'm not
But
watching
that
this
the
shit.
aesthetics
Hold
don't
up.
matter. It's the story.
Hold up.
Rem had to
This is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm trying to land my plane is saying like it's going to be so much scrutiny when you watch this shit because we were alive to watch everything play out and shit. This is not for us. You know what I'm saying?
It's not for us.
It's not for us. It's to tell the story of the Wu-Tang and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like for us to watch it, like even if they got everything right, we still gonna have some type of like gripes about, you know, oh shit, that nigga don't look like this, or this ain't happening like that, or blah blah. You know, and you got a 9-member group trying to tell one story.
Yo, that's the dope part though, right? And that's kind of one thing that I thought they did well is talk about that there are multiple stories here, especially if you watch episode 4, because there's some when you watch episode 4, you see
Is that when they on the boat?
Huh?
Is that when they on the boat?
Nah, episode 4 of the new season.
Oh, okay.
When they're hashing some problems out within the group and they're trying to figure things out, you see things from different people's purview. You see Ghost mad at one nigga getting some bread. You see Ray like, oh, is that nigga in the group? Is he not in the group? Why he getting the same cut? Like you see a couple of different things that they do what Brock was talking about, where it's like it's coming from a bunch of different niggas per view. And I think the really cool part about what they're doing is that it isn't, I don't think they pretend to be the all-seeing correct eye. They kind of just, oh, shout out my man, got the little ones.
Oh no, I'm trying. Yo, this shit is like really tripping again. Like I think the feds really tapping my shit.
Yeah, you said
You said the magic words, nigga.
Yeah, you gave them the keywords. That's all it was.
Break your word, though. That shit bugged out though. Like,
Hey, Chip, I'm out here in the area off grid living.
Yeah, I mean that's how you supposed to do it.
Like where I'm at right now, like I had to hook up to something to get busy. To be, you know what I mean? Like we in the mountains. It's a beautiful lake right here outside my window. Like, but
so
it's
let me ask you a question, building off of what y'all talking about as far as like, you know, the Wu-Tang thing or whatever, right?
Right.
What do you think is like the best biopic or like who got it right in this era of hip hop? Because like that's my gripe. I don't think anybody gets it right because
NWA might be the closest one.
Huh?
Straight out of Compton.
Yeah, straight out of Compton.
That's one. That's one. I think they always get
Big
it wrong.
was trash. Pac was trash.
Yeah.
All
I
the
think
everything on White Power was trash.
Yo, when I tell you, I am currently podcasting
In the middle of a party.
and well, yeah, everything is going on in the next room, and I am the DJ. So
wow, this nigga
the pie father for real.
yeah, no, I get busy.
DJ.
I get busy, but no, listen. I think so far, I don't think a movie is the right medium. I think the television where you get this long form storytelling, so you don't have to fit in 2 hours.
Well, who got it right?
Someone's existence.
But
so
look,
far, it's only been Wu-Tang.
But
the
look,
Wu-Tang's only the only folks that've gotten a chance to tell.
Wu-Tang is close. They
Right.
but that's
they've admittedly fabricated stuff.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's my point, yo. Like hip hop is so new. They're like, think about R&B and shit, right? And like think about like Michael Jackson before. Like we still don't have a Michael Jackson story, but we had like the Jackson 5 like mini series and shit. We just get into the Whitney Houston story. We just get into this. Like hip hop is not that old, and people are pumping out like biopics and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
but that's money.
Somebody's like
Capitalism. Yeah.
But I'm saying like for something to be good, I'm like,
but they don't give a fuck about that.
Good.
We give a fuck about that.
But the thing is,
who would y'all like to see?
What story?
Whose narrative would y'all like?
Who?
AZ.
AZ.
All right, man. Fuck. I mean, damn, nigga.
Fucking AZ story. Like, what the fuck?
When you see this angry nigga?
You see, you the problem.
How do you have a Nas?
AZ?
How do you have Nas in your background and he get mad at AZ?
I would rather have a Nas story than an AZ story. Like, what the fuck? Like,
I just tried to say something most niggas wouldn't say. Everybody gonna say Nas. You know what I'm saying?
What's the Nas story though? Oh, look at these niggas down there. This is crazy. Oh, he calling him at the fucking precinct again. That's wild.
Yo, I'd rather see special ed. I'd rather see special ed than motherfucking. You know,
that's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's not my pick. That's not my.
How
pick.
did special ed get in Juice? How was he the ugly girl boyfriend?
Was in Juice?
Yeah,
he was the ugly girl boyfriend.
They hated that nigga.
Raheem boyfriend. I mean, girl's boyfriend.
In the very beginning, she was talking to him, and your shit is tired. And then she went to the car, and it was special ed car.
Was that the hovercraft? Did she get in the hovercraft?
Hovercraft was hard. Ain't nobody ever did that shit.
That was the first nigga to talk about a hovercraft.
She get the hovercraft is amazing.
What was that line?
It don't matter. He had a hovercraft in the video, nigga.
I gotta know. He had a line about the hovercraft.
He did. You're right.
Special
I would like to see. I like to see. This is the second time I'm bringing this nigga up and shit on the show. I like to see LL, nigga. You know what I mean?
LL Cool J, baby. When he lost the Canibus?
That nigga gonna be on that.
That's ridiculous. Can we talk about that though? At some point,
please.
Like, because
we here,
right?
We here.
Right. I was bugging. I went back and listened. Canibus flamed that nigga. You know.
Wait. How did that conversation start though? Because at some point I just went into the glide and niggas was saying, nah, Jack the Ripper. That shit was hard.
This nigga.
So Canibus was making the rounds. Canibus did a NEMS podcast and he did Math Harvard.
Yeah.
And it was clear that he had like a narrative that he was not necessarily kind of painting, but like he was going and he had points that he was hitting on both shows. Right. And the one thing he talked about was LL in the battle. And everybody has their opinion, man. Listen, I personally feel like Second Round Knockout is my favorite diss song I've ever heard.
What? Ever?
What's the first?
I said my favorite.
Oh, your favorite.
Ever. Okay. Damn. I remember being amazed when that first came. But because it's on two levels. The first level is the fact that it was the cat that had the album with Wyclef or whatever. Was the album even out at that point? Going up and took a whole fucking grenade and threw that shit at LL. Like, if a nigga did that to you on the street right now, you would be so pissed off if he just started was up in your face and yelling this shit and the shit when people laughing at you. It was unheard of. And then when you listen to the record, and he wasn't pulling no punches, and the shit was nice. And Mike Tyson, he better eat.
Yo, check this out, yo. Like me and this nigga. Damn it, how we do this?
Where we going?
Me and this nigga had a conversation about this shit, right? So, like in that sense, Canibus was the underdog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And my opinion I'm not saying that he had a difference of opinion or whatever, but we just went on a tangent about like underdogs shit. Right? In my opinion, I think that Canibus won the battle, but he didn't win the war.
Facts.
So if you make that type of song and LL drops that, like we under the glamour of LL, can I bust and all of that other goofy ass shit, right? Nigga, you need to make 3rd round knockout. You need to make 5th round knockout. Nigga, you need to make uppercut, side hook, all this shit. Just make a mixtape. This and LL.
MMA.
Hey, yo, I'm about to hit LL with the suplex.
Yeah, around the pound, all that shit, nigga.
Word up.
The rear naked choke.
Like he just kind of let off the gas and shit. You know what I'm saying? And
that's what I'm saying.
That's what lost it for me.
Y'all stop, put some respect on that nigga name, man. That nigga track wasn't ass, bro.
Who
he just lost.
Jack
it was mid.
Jack the Ripper.
Yeah, dog. Y'all
outside of
that.
Ripper Strikes Back or whatever the shit was called.
Backs, and we said this week. I felt like that rap had one tough bar, which was 99% of your fans don't exist. Which is, I thought that was dope. I thought that was a good one.
So the joint I put in the glide wasn't none.
But the rest of that rap, something to the simply for 50 years.
Gold Grammys and stayed calm LL while you drop verses at niggas' proms.
That shit hard. I ain't gonna lie. That shit hard.
That shit was tight, dog.
That shit hard.
This nigga rapping at niggas' proms.
You but wait.
But it ain't real.
Shit.
He is now, nigga. He is now.
On the sideline.
At that, but see, that's the thing. That's kind of the rough part to tell, like this kind of story this many years later, is telling who Canibus was while that battle was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep it real.
The context,
the way this nigga was crushing clue tapes and doo-wops and SNS and like, you know what I'm saying?
Hold up.
You watch the sitcom, nigga, so stop that.
Hold up. If you gonna do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna do that, and we like, you know, doing that shit, right? The nigga did say the most pause-worthiest shit ever and shit.
But wait,
so we gonna live in one time frame or not? You
no.
know,
I am 100% cool with telling the whole story.
Right.
Well, that line was out of control.
Yeah.
Like that is the wildest line. Second wildest.
This is the first.
This is second.
No, the Biggie line.
No. So good and suckle your daddy. Nah.
Yeah.
No. There's nowhere near as bad as Big. Right. And to be honest, DMX.
What'd he say? You ain't got the skills.
I was about to say DMX got to get honorable mention.
I ain't got no cash like him, but you ain't got the skills to eat a nigga.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
Whoa!
I didn't know we was in competition for that. I declined. My name shouldn't have been on that list.
This nigga's an ass eater, yo. He claims to be the best ass eater.
Now, let's be real. Now,
if you looked at that as a skill,
it's funny.
He got the skills.
He looked at that as a skill.
Oh, wow.
It's funny.
No. So it's hilarious, right? But now the context, what he was really saying is
you can't outrun. Yeah.
Correct. And no lie told. The way this nigga watch me rip the tap from your arm, kick you in the groin, stick you for your Vanguard Award in front of your mom's second and third born, make your wife go on the farm. Come on, yo. Like, that's crazy.
He kept going. It didn't stop.
This is what I'm saying. So when you listen, even though he said some outlandishness,
right,
it wasn't a lie. Right? And the song was good. Like the greatest rapper
was he?
I don't know. He was rich in the 80s.
I mean,
and he was in Hollywood. I mean, I would assume they
would say everything wasn't a lie.
Right.
But he was in Hollywood at that point, so the assumption would be that he would have touched.
I'm not saying he not. You know.
Yeah, you do. I don't know. I have no idea. But that's how people go. That's how people talk.
I cannot confirm nor deny.
I'm just saying,
Right?
yo, niggas should go back and really listen to that joint. Because it's not
Vin.
it's not horrible. I'm definitely not saying he won. He definitely took the L.
Yes.
Yeah.
But,
Two of them.
and just so you, well,
L.
two L's is the W, my nigga. Just so you know.
Not like this.
L's is the W.
Not like this.
He definitely won the war. But I'm just saying that verse wasn't trash. Like, or that diss wasn't trash. The
That beat was
majority of
trash.
it was. It was a
All
lot.
right,
It was a lot of fluff.
All right, let's. All right, let's.
That beat
All
was
right.
trash.
I'll say this. Where would you rank second round knockouts? Second round knockout, and it's funny because LL is in the back. Right
Yeah.
now. But where would you rank second round knockout in the, you know what I mean? The
Like
common dish.
It's up there.
Rest the bridges
I
over.
would put it in the top 5.
It's up there. It's up there because you got to remember if the story, because I don't know where Broc at. Broc said we're gonna talk about the timeline. If I remember correctly, Canibus's verse on the what was it 4-3-2-1 whatever the record was, his verse was different. He went in and he had to change the verse, and then when because LL was like, nah, you can't have that on my record, but then they said LL because he put something about the mic on my arm by the Canibus said
the original line in the original, because that recording hit the internet. He said, hey yo, Red, where your squad at? Meth, where the guards at? L, is that a mic in your arm? Let me borrow that.
Yeah.
And then he goes into his,
and LL didn't like that shit.
LL felt weird about it.
You said where was you ranked? What like
where would you rank
the record
second round knockout in all time diss records?
I think that in my opinion, the best diss record for me is
hit him up.
No, nigga. Problem Child against 50, nigga. Like,
cool, but
we was damn near feeling you.
That's fine.
Like,
but that's
what
I'm just saying. The conversation is, where would you rank, or what area would you rank second round knockout?
I got it. I mean, like, I ain't gonna make this an impromptu shooting the 5, but
no. Would you say top 5, top 10? What, like?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, where would you put the Ripper Strikes Back?
All right, you got
GPS, nigga.
I get your point.
Yes, I can't find it.
I can't find it.
The more we say this, I think about this nigga said,
I can't find it.
yo, I'm gonna let the world know the truth.
What?
He felt that.
This nigga went, he said, hit you with a couple, what he say, hit you with a couple thunderbolts, make you somersault. No, this nigga Canibus went crazy.
He was so pissed off when he got that record, because they probably sent him a promo. He was like, yo, let me listen, let me hear how it sounds. And then he'd be like,
respect that I deserve, or I'm gonna take it by force.
He said, nah, this wasn't the shit. He changed the record. He changed the shit, bro. Wyclef, with the studio, give me the keys. I got an idea.
Have y'all ever heard the phone conversation between LL and Canibus?
No.
Negative.
So there is they leaked and this is real. Mm-hmm. You hear LL Canibus talking about, he said, and he was like, yo, LL is basically saying nobody's gonna know I'm talking about you in that verse. So Canibus has already changed his verse, and Canibus was like, nah, yo, this ain't right. This isn't
right.
I can't wear this, because this is gonna kill my career, because I'm gonna look like a whore. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And L is like,
that use of whore.
L is basically saying, baby, what you want to do? He's saying what you want to do. I know that I know, first of all, I am who I am.
Right.
And I know, listen, we can all you have to do is chill out. We'll make a record together and everything will be okay. Or you can succumb to 2 or 3 people. And the problem is, L didn't understand, and Canibus, this is which I think was the most respectful thing, was that, like, Canibus understood the concept of the internet. He said He said, "L, you know what I was doing before we was on here having this conversation? Is I was in a chat room. You know what I'm saying? And I saw niggas talking, and niggas know. So this internet thing is real, and this will be a widespread thing, and niggas will know."
Right.
And he was trying to explain that to L, and L couldn't get it.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
L got it because
He
Canibus
didn't. You got to listen to that conversation.
No, I get everything you saying, and I get what L did, right? But I think it's a very great strategic play on L's point because we ain't talking about Canibus right now and shit. This nigga was banking on the internet. He's banking on like, you know what I mean? Like, my nigga, it's gonna look bad and all this other shit. Nigga, fuck you, nigga.
That was that real hip hop.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here, nigga. Like
damn, you ain't fuck you lost your backpack somewhere, Broc. You ain't fucking with this real this fuck them con. That's what I'm saying though. I'm gonna let the world know.
That nigga said you lost your backpack.
I fuck with it.
No Jan Sports. No Jan Sport for you.
Clear joy too. That's
what I'm saying is
I had the new Buck Bottom backpack.
What I'm saying is like at some point in time, like yeah, on the hip hop level, it's something we remember. We love it. Canibus ain't around this shit. LL pay like I'm talking about on the main strategic level. Yeah, like yeah, we smoking on that.
That may be the name of the episode.
and LL is on the internet right now, nigga. Fuck that internet, nigga. Like, yeah, I'm on that.
Actually, two niggas in this.
I play around the way girl at the party. They going crazy. Tell me the Canibus song we can play.
You can't because one of them has the R word in it. I don't even know if I'm allowed to say it. YouTube would take it. I don't know if I can say it. That record's hard.
Actually, here's the funny part, and this is always special people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, yeah, chill out. But no. Here's the thing that I always thought won battles, and I thought was really important. I think Drake won a battle with this. I think Dre won a battle with this. If the song that we play, right, that can, there's the widespread notoriety. Yeah. And niggas like, oh yeah, this is the joint.
Yeah.
So Dre Day.
Yeah.
Back to back. Nigga, I don't know if the only reason why we celebrate the Notorious Big's death day is because of Canibus. The greatest rapper of all time died on March 9th is the reason why we celebrate.
Literally.
All right, let's put this conversation to the end right now. It's people partying in your house right now, right? Put on Second Round Knockout and see what happens.
Shit, put on the Ripper Strikes Back and see what happens.
Don't do that.
Yeah, but they'll say,
that's context. That, my friend, is context.
Because that's why I can't listen to that record, because that beat is ass. He picked a terrible beat. That Ripper Stripes Back beat is ass. It's so annoying.
It sounds like wrestling. It sounds like
really
supposed to come to the
the Randy Savage album. That's what it sounds like. Be a man, Hogan. That's what it sounds like.
Yo, but let me ask you this though.
Because you're posing up in my comments.
This some random shit though, right? So Canibus did have his pause-worthy moment in the second round knockout, right? Mm-hmm. Is it pause to say, "Can I bust?" throughout the whole song?
It's weird. It's weird.
Because who was he asking, right?
Hold on, but then the nigga
you asking me or somebody else?
Yes, you can.
No, you can't. If you're asking me, no. Put that away.
At this point, both of them got to take you. We got to take 5 points off for the dog exchange off both them niggas' papers.
He didn't say Canibus. He said, "Can I bust?"
Can I bust? No.
Yes, we can.
No. Who was y'all?
Who was the nigga saying yes, we can?
Who said that? Who said that?
Yes, we can.
You know you watch the sitcom, niggas. Stop that.
Who said that?
Man,
Jesus
Yo,
Christ.
that sitcom had L hot, nigga.
he
That
didn't
sitcom
like
had
that.
L
No,
hot.
no.
That shit
The
burned him.
nigga-
He was mad about that.
Nigga said he was
listen.
going to just like demonstrate on this nigga on his
Right.
sitcom,
I'm
nigga.
about to diss LL on the podcast just for he can react to it because that nigga's high as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like LL was kind of always that. Like you listen to the other niggas on the song on 4321 when they talked about the Canibus on the Beef CD, right? The Beef DVD. They said, man, niggas ain't nobody take L like that. Canibus was cool with everybody. Canibus was a very hungry guy that happened to that LL put on the record to add validity to himself at the time as a street nigga still. You know what I'm saying? Because let's keep it a bill. That's what he was doing. He did it again with I Shot You on the next album, Mr. Smith. But Canibus was the hot mixtape rapper to put on your song.
DMX too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you did that and to add validity to yourself. And then when things went away, you capitalized off it. It was the whole thing for me was a real sucker move. I did
Big
not.
sucker move.
You was right that he did change song format though. I was talking to Broc about that, and like literally niggas just did away with choruses. Like just I seen people. What's the joint with AZ? I mean A plus. They just gave Canibus 40 bars.
Beast from the East, I believe it was called. Beast from the East was hard.
He just said, "Go, nigga."
Yeah, and I remember that verse was in the magazine. His shit was so ill. I remember reading that shit.
Nigga said an MC so ill, I got AIDS scared to catch me.
Nigga. I said,
come on, yo.
The nigga said, "I ripped the skin off." What do you say? I ripped the skin off myself just to get on your nerves. Like, oh my god.
So let me tell you a story about just that record in particular. Is I feel like that record and Canibus as an MC has a bit of a influence on me podcasting, and that the reason why is so back in that era, Canibus is running around with Wyclef and they're doing the Carnival tour, right? Now at that same time, me, myself, Brother Math, rest in peace to Rucker. Shout out to Kel, shout out to Goldwire. We shout out to Brother Chief. We're all in a group, you know what I'm saying? And we opened for the Wyclef Carnival tour, right? So we're backstage, and this is Canibus. Priswell Lauren was not around at all. Yeah, Priswell is Wyclef, and Canibus, John Forte. Everybody's moving around this night, right? There's a point in time during this night where Canibus get off the bus and he's talking Spanish with the girl who sang the hook on Guantanamera. They get up, yeah. Guantanamera, right? So they get up. We're in a stairwell at Towson University. It's Ilfam, which was the name of the group, and Canibus, and everybody is starstruck, right? Everybody's like, man, we sitting here chilling with Canibus.
This Canibus, crazy, man. That's because Canibus, the way man.
Canibus was doing these mixtapes and the way we listened and we were ingrained in this mixtape culture, this was an amazing moment for us. Me being me, I am not going to let this moment escape us. Right. The thing I say is, you ask Brother Math if he ever pops up around here. Ask Brother Math. I said, hey, yo, Canibus, yo. My nigga, how do you get that nice? Because it's next level. And he proceeds to like, yo, you know what I mean? Some man might go out and play ball. Some other nigga might go out here and like girls, man. I was in the lab practicing my crack. Like that was the conversation, right? But that was my first podcast interview. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Effectively.
Right.
And that was the beginning of me not being afraid to ask the question I need to ask. And so I give credit to Canibus for me doing what I do at this point.
That's dope.
Because it really makes that piece of understanding led me to have quality conversations with good, amazing MCs years later.
All right, so basically, we can't take shit you saying for granted because, like, your opinion
Stop
is
it. Stop
your
it.
fucking man's anyway.
Nah,
So-
LL
I don't know
Records
him.
is trash because them beats is trash.
I don't know him. However, all I'm gonna say is all I'm going to do is give you fact and let everybody else decipher what happened and what didn't happen.
Yo,
Wait,
let me ask y'all that shit. Like in a versus battle, yo, who y'all got? Canibus or Cassidy?
I'm gonna take Canibus.
I'm not watching the verses, nigga.
A Canibus.
Because I seen Canibus in a battle lately, and I was like, Nick.
Well,
That wasn't lately, but that
I'm
was
not
bad.
talking about
Yeah,
a,
it wasn't
I'm not
late.
talking about like
That
a
was bad.
real battle, nigga. I'm
Oh,
talking
you
about,
mean like a real
but
verse?
that's
Oh, my
20
bad.
records though.
Pardon me.
I mean, both of them niggas got about
Nah.
like 6 apiece.
Yeah, they got that's a fair battle.
What's the 6 Canibus records?
No, you know what? Let them go off of freestyles and shit.
Yeah, Canibus is gonna do freestyles.
Let them
Canibus
both.
got it.
Canibus is just. Well, I was just checking.
I would employ niggas to really go back. That's the thing. A lot of times we talk about, I don't want to say we like the niggas on this podcast, but
Right.
niggas in general
Niggas.
talk about albums, and you haven't went to revisit that album. Like you thinking how you thought when you heard it then. But go back and listen to Canibus' first album. That shit was not as
He
bad.
said no.
No. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I have that album on wax. You are correct.
Like I said, I want to do like all the classic freestyles that we've heard from, because both of them was like kind of killing the freestyle circuits and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you will pop in a freestyle from either one of them and shit. Like who you think will win that shit? You know what I'm saying?
Cassidy, at least back then.
No, I'm talking about now, nigga. Like
I'm gonna go Canibus both.
Yeah.
Well, because you
Canibus both eras.
You said verses, right? That's 20. That's
takes over their freestyles, not their album records and shit.
Cassidy could do the verses or the freestyles that he did against Freeway because them shits was banana. I still remember there was some quotables up in them
Doghouse
shit.
got a doghouse, nigga. Fuck you talking about?
I can't even say some of the shit that
When this nigga Canibus say, "I walk across the sun barefoot looking for shade,"
Shade, nigga.
the nigga had the best album on an album with AZ. Nas,
he had 2.5 minutes. That's what I was gonna say. He did like the last like 2.5 minutes of that record.
Nigga. You Alex Jones and Kanye in this motherfucker. Like I get that Canibus did his thing, but he ain't outshine Nas and AZ on a lot of that album, bro.
Well, I put you. Hey, listen, because I know it's ridiculous to put you on the spot. Next week, right? Next Friday, you tell me the verse on the Firm album that's better than Canibus's album or Canibus's verse on Desperados.
I appreciate you for not putting me on the spot because I don't want to sound crazy. But
hold up, say that again. You said the what?
He said the verse on the Firm album that's better than Canibus's verse on Desperados. Right?
So any verse on the Firm.
I don't think you heard the Firm.
That's what he said.
It's a lot of 16 out, digital lace, digital weed out. No, it's a lot of fucking shit on that album.
The
dog.
verse though,
crazy on that album, bro.
I remember.
Nigga, no, he know this.
Yeah,
make you famous.
Yeah.
Label, I appear courtesy.
Was
What
hard.
do you say? F my record label. I appear courtesy of myself. Let me explain how I maintain thresholds of plane. I walk across the sun barefoot looking for shade.
Is that the shit where like I get pussy with my father's features puff heavily?
Yeah.
That's
I love that line.
That's
I love that line.
It's a lot.
That's on what's the name?
That's a hard line.
That's on something else. That's on something else.
That's a hard line.
That's not on the
That's
Firm. That's a great verse too.
Yeah.
That's a great verse.
That's a phenomenal line. Great verse.
But
I get pussy with my father's features is crazy. I love that.
That's insane, nigga.
That's a hard line. No, that's a hard
like,
line.
Nigga, if I was my,
it's also the truth.
Yeah, we going with this. We going.
Oh, he about to get that struck out and shit.
We going with this. Nah, this nigga about to get away
he
with
got
that
that Firm shit. That's his whole little shit.
That's my whole thing right there.
That's his whole little shit.
That's the vid.
He know it front to back.
No, I love the Firm album. I don't.
But
I appreciate you saying that though. Real talk, because a lot of people sleep on that album. I'm like, yo, fuck what you heard. Dre did that album. That album was hard as
You
shit,
know,
bro.
nobody sleep on this. It's just not available for you to. It's like for a
They
long,
didn't pull back. It's still there.
It's still
like,
there.
for a long time you couldn't get it though.
Okay. Nah, that joint.
Was it? I always.
All the way down to the shit niggas don't talk about.
No, I was always not. I was always available, not listening to the firm. Like I always got to choose not to listen to it. Right?
Yo, said I was always not.
I always had that choice. I like, nope. Let me do something else.
Nigga said, "Hey, yo, listen to the firm." Nah. What else you got?
Niggas listen to Little Brother.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
Hey, yo, this nigga Fonte, I wish I could find the quote. That nigga had one of them quotes today too. There's an article. Their first album, I guess, is hitting 20 years soon. And Fonte did an interview, and he had a very good quote today. I wish I could find. Let me see if I can find this little brother quote.
Nigga, that hits 20 years tomorrow.
Yo, you know what's happening right now? What I'm starting to understand, yo, like all that neo soul shit, it's coming back. I'm not saying that they.
There was a way to get into that, Brock. There was like a sentence or two you could have said. He said, "Little brother, yeah, that neo soul back, yo."
Look, everybody popping back up. I just see Erykah Badu. I see Soul Child. I just
Brand Nubian back.
I just seen Sadat X on M-Rock.
What the fuck he got to do with anything?
I don't know, but I just seen him.
All right.
Sadat, Wild Cowboy.
Nah, like
yo, that was my shit.
Facts.
Yeah, that was my shit.
I was a big Brand Nubian. Nah, yeah, the listening turns 20 tomorrow.
That was my shit too.
Yes.
Still getting mine in the one.
Was that his last? Was that the last record of his that I was really?
Nigga said, "I rap your F&A under the table."
I rap your what?
Effing A.
Is that the name of the episode? F and A?
That's really bad. That's really bad. Like
I wish I cussed like that.
You really just say the word. You just say the word. Like
nah. It's the gimmick. No, that's the gimmick.
It's people who do that make it cool though. Schoolboy. I was just telling Brock this earlier. He say, "Who that N-word with the candy gloss?" Like instead
Which y'all niggas ain't never heard me cuss before?
Never.
You don't curse, man?
Ha! No.
No, you don't curse.
That's why it sounded so crazy.
Man, no, that's crazy because I always used to be like, I don't trust no man that don't curse.
Well, you know what it is? There's select words.
I say nigga though, maybe that.
Yeah,
maybe
that works.
There's other words, but the only one you'll hear is nigga.
I ain't gonna lie. When I was a youngin', this old head told me, he was like, "I don't curse, and you need to expand your vocabulary because you curse. It means you can't expand your vocabulary." I was like, "Man, fuck that."
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Nah, you know what? I stopped doing it. What happened? I used to like curse egregiously. Like it was like way like I used to wild out, and it was an OG nigga named Blink, guy named Brian that worked at this call center I worked. He was like, "Fam, why do you go so hard? Like it's not necessary." And he was like, "Yo, can you go without cussing?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "I don't know." He was like, "I got a dub say you can't go without cussing. $20." Fair enough. Just I'll be here Friday. You know, I don't want no 10s or 5. Just give me the 20.
That's the thing. Like when I went back and listened to Prodigy and shit, I was like, this nigga ain't cuss.
He could not. Sometimes he could.
I mean,
no, he cursed. But you mean like egregiously?
I'm talking about like Survival of the Illest and
okay, yeah,
right.
And some of those verses that's so hard, he's not
you crazy.
He ain't said, yeah.
You say P, you crazy. Pain in the ass, but fuck you.
I'm talking about like
yeah, you talking about early project. Yeah.
Rocky and
But even honestly though, yo, like hip hop wasn't about a lot of that way back then. It wasn't until like the Rough Riders that's when it got.
It was earlier than that, nigga.
Well, yeah, I mean,
NWA, yeah, NWA.
But what I'm saying is,
Luke,
yeah, Luke, 2 Live Crew and shit. They was talking about pussy and shit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, as a whole though, like you could listen to Mob, you could listen to Not, and I'm not saying niggas didn't curse at all, But I'm saying it wasn't just random, just out of nowhere curse words.
I mean, I say it was like pockets.
Well,
Because,
yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
You talking about from like NWA and Luke all the way up to Mob and them niggas? That's like probably a 10-year gap and shit. There was a lot of niggas cussing, going crazy and shit because they thought that was the thing to do in rap.
Too short and shit.
Yeah,
Bitch.
yeah, Too Short.
It's my favorite word.
Bitch.
Yeah, NWA.
I can't do it right.
Yeah,
But
cussing and going crazy. Niggas was going crazy. It's like, oh, we can cuss.
oh, we can cuss.
Let's do it.
Phil flarn, Phil. Nah, but it is one of those things. Prodigy's interesting because he don't have to cuss because what he's saying
So sinister.
is so when like what's the song he's got? It's the Prodigy and Alchemist album. He's got a record on there called Confessions, and he cuss on it. But when like him talking about shooting up a car and him talking about the bullets hitting the bitch micro braids and describing the smoke coming out the bullet holes in the glass out the car. It's like he was already on some serial killer with the pen. He didn't need to put a fuck. He didn't need to put a nothing. Like none of that was necessary. But like you said.
Go ahead, my bad, Kyle.
I was just gonna say it's a lot of people who when they say, oh, we can cuss, it's easy to put a motherfucking bitch ass, like, you know, it's so easy to rhyme some of these things that people will tend to overdo it and and that fucks up the He was writing dirty lyrics.
I love you, Ben. You're
Shouts
my
to
guy.
Vin. Shouts to Vin.
But I think the point I was trying to make is that, like, you look at a big song. This is just one song. I'm sure niggas gonna be like, "What?" and tell me a song where he don't do this. But today's agenda got the suitcase up in the Centra. Go to room 112. Tell him, look how long I got to get in that song before he cursed. Put on a Pooh Shiesty song and see how long you get before he cursed. That's all I'm saying. Like the rappers now, that shit is just, I can't listen to none of that shit with my kids.
No, they start out with bitch.
You're making a different point now. You're making a different point now.
No, I'm not. I'm saying back then in rap, there were people who you could listen to the album and it wasn't crazy heavy-handed cursing. But I don't think it was conscious. That's just niggas just made good art. Like, so it was no need to do all that. But now I think it's just like Cal saying, niggas don't have nothing to say, so they just write.
But I mean that shit kind of started like in the mid 90s though. You know what I mean?
Was that nigga Daz? Was he the one that did that? He said I can't rhyme like Corrupt, so let me just cuss a lot.
Could be, I don't know.
Because
and if he's saying the mid 90s, I mean that's what I'm saying, because that's when I was really listening.
Like what's the
in the mid 90s, niggas was like, yo, let's just cuss and go crazy and shit. You know what I mean?
Well, what I'm saying is
going forward.
There was
now niggas don't even have punchlines and shit. I agree with you on that point.
They're just spitting what happened.
Nigga. Fuck you. Like,
she sucked my dick while I drank some lean. Like that's just that they're just writing what happened because that's what happened before they got into the. But I think the thing is it's.
I'm saying suck my dick while I drink some.
That's what they do. Pop a perk. I mean, you could substitute whatever the substance is, but that's what it is. But
get right to the shit.
But no, wait, actually, what I'm saying, but that's what they say. Listen to the song. They don't even want to have sex. They say they just want top. That's what they say in the songs. I'm just regurgitating what they say. But think about this. I've heard DJ Premier talk about being in the studio with Big. Big would order the chicken. He would smoke his weed, and there'd be a chick in the room. And then just be 3-4 hours, and then all right, play the beat, and he spit a verse. The verse may talk about, socks in the chicken box or whatever, and like it may stray something about the chick, but like Rem was saying, he might have a different scheme. He may be rhyming words, in the middle of the verse or the middle of the lines or whatever. Like there was an art to it to where that you would hear the stray shit of the wild shit going on in the studio, but that was part of a larger narrative. Nowadays, it's I'm addicted to pills. I'm addicted to lean. I smoke a lot of weed, and I buy a lot of designer shit. And this record's going to be about how high I get off the perks.
The music is depressing. It's like depressing.
It's very depressing.
Yeah,
it's very depressing these days. Yeah.
What do y'all niggas listen to now? Though?
I listen to a ton of old shit.
Yeah,
I mean, like what genre? Like, what do y'all listen to?
You know me, bro. I be everywhere with it. You know what I'm saying? I like a lot of
primarily. What do you listen to?
Hip hop.
I listen to a lot of hip hop.
Yeah,
but it's a lot of like if I'm listening to new stuff, it's new stuff from people that are reminiscent of the old shit. Like it's Griselda, it's Freddie Gibbs, it's the Locks, all that stuff, or it's facts, or it's that shit from the 90s and 80s that I grew up listening to and bringing back.
If you got a 4-hour road trip, what you say going to be the most that you listen to? Hip hop or podcast?
Hey yo, old school R&B.
I ain't gonna lie. Like,
I was gonna say like Stevie Wonder or something like that.
It's gonna be a book.
And I'm gonna be honest. It took us three hours and some change to get here, and that's what it was. Old school R&B. I mean, that was hip hop mixed in, man. But I love 90s hip hop. I love that era, 93 to 97. That was my high school years. But New Jack Swing has a very, very special place in my listening rotation, and it never leave, man. So them Heavy D records, them goddamn New Edition all the way up the road, baby.
Fam had to stop the car to get out and just hit
all the way. Ooh, jam.
Yo, but I'm not gonna lie, like that's something that niggas don't talk about enough too. Like, as much as we talk about hip hop change, R&B is dead.
R&B super dead.
That shit.
We can't do that.
It's not.
We can't do that.
It's not.
Because all right, who's the biggest artist?
You don't listen to it.
So y'all niggas about to name 2 niggas, 3 niggas, and be like, they still keeping it. What I'm saying is, there was 100 niggas back then.
No, but wait.
Who is the 3 niggas you gonna name now? Chris Brown. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, let's get them out the way. Chris Brown. Who else?
Beyonce.
Who else?
Drake. The biggest rapper in the world is an R&B artist.
Name me some R&B artists from old school. Who the niggas you listened to back in the day?
Hold up. You speeding, nigga.
Yeah. Because then I could go. No. Because then I could go her
to Beyonce to Drake. Come on,
right?
Man.
But no. But
you speeding.
I said biggest
name, nigga.
Right, but that's biggest. We can go from her to SZA to goddamn it's mad niggas that make music now.
Yeah. The Weeknd just did the Super Bowl, nigga.
Yeah, but I think the thing because the Weeknd I would call Weeknd pop at this point. Weeknd's kind of transition, but
let's define R&B then, because y'all niggas.
I think R&B is shifted. I think back when we were growing up, especially in the 90s, R&B was profitable. I don't want to just say popular. It was profitable.
No, R&B was ours. Here's the thing: when we were growing up, R&B was ours. Black music is pop culture. Black music, any black artist, rap, R&B is going to be an artist for the most part that you can call pop because it's soul music, but they just happen to be popuar. Niggas like The Weeknd and what's the little Menudo looking nigga that everybody loves?
Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars made a straight New Jack Swing R&B.
Oh no, yeah,
album.
That's his influence, yeah.
Anderson .Paak.
Listen to what you said earlier, though. You mentioned Drake, and I think that's the thing. And I don't want to say it's a problem. That's what I'm saying. R&B has changed because hip hop has changed. Drake is hip hop, but the hip hop niggas I know don't listen to Drake because Drake does a lot of singing. Chris Brown is the same shit. Chris Brown be rapping, but he be singing as well. The R&B that's the most popular especially from niggas. It's not the same type of R&B that we grew up with.
Who just did the Super Bowl, yo?
Rihanna, but you're gonna tell me Rihanna's an R&B artist solely?
Niggas need to define R&B. I get
But
the
see,
top
I think
10
that's the
I think she's
problem,
bigger
right?
than that. I think
That's
Beyonce's not just an R&B artist to me at this point.
Correct.
I think they're bigger than that.
Fair. That's
Pop
fair
is- pop
that
is-
she's not
pop is
just
like
an,
fucking whoever makes it to the fucking top. This shit. It's not about like
yeah.
it's not
Pop
about
is a sound, bro. Pop is actually a sound. That's a genre of music.
No, it's not.
It is, but it isn't because the new kid. Listen,
right now, I can
no. Hold, wait.
A pop genre.
Because I tell you, the
Like
top
all
two
the other
niggas,
genres graduate to pop.
Beyonce makes R&B music, but it crosses over popular.
Yes.
But Beyonce's last album, she just won a Grammy for electronic music. Like her album wasn't just.
But that's
an
not
R&B.
even. Yeah, but that's not even R&B.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Is R&B is changing right now. Like R&B, if Beyonce's the biggest R&B artist and she just won a Grammy for electronic music, it's hard to then say what R&B is if the biggest R&B artist isn't making predominantly R&B music currently. Because then what is it?
Because that argument doesn't really just exist in that purview.
What
that
is Old
argument
Town
is
Road?
called music. Is
That's
everybody who's making music, especially everybody that's making music successfully, has this kind of song and this kind of song.
No, right. But we were talking about R&B right now, though, right?
That's what I'm saying. Is the popular R&B artists now have songs in all genres?
What is Old Town Road?
I have no idea.
That's a country song.
That's a country song.
Is that country? But they play
not
it on
R&B.
hip-hop stations. So would you say Old Town Road crossed over to hip-hop, or did it cross over to country?
I think honestly, that country had to accept that record. They didn't want that to be called a country
That's
record.
what happens when y'all keep saying this went pop. It's not that it went pop, it's a pop song. So they accepted it. But it's also a hip-hop song. Yo, that You Can't Break My Soul, that's a fucking pop song.
Nah,
No, it's not.
that song just
It's actually a fucking dance record, my nigga.
It's a club
that's a
record.
straight dance record.
Dance record and shit.
All right,
But
so what's a pop song then?
The Weeknd. The last couple Weeknd albums is pop.
Like New Kids on the Block.
I'm
made
asking a
pop
song.
music.
What's a pop song?
What's the fucking
Okay.
star? I'm a motherfucking star boy. That's a pop song.
All right, so let me ask you this. At the end of the day, who's the king of pop?
Michael Jackson is called the king
Michael
of pop.
Jackson. So you would tell me that he's making every time he stepped out, he just made pop music and shit.
I think a lot. I think a lot of his
Michael
biggest
Jackson,
songs are pop
I
songs.
think the album before the album that he's known for, the album that Michael Jackson is known for is Thriller, right? We'd all agree. That's the biggest. That's probably the biggest successful album of all time.
Mm-hmm.
The album before that was a disco album.
Yeah,
exactly. And it went pop.
He's been able to ship. And Dangerous was a New Jack Swing. I get it, but I think those records that are going big, and I think especially now, it's genre, especially the way people make music. It's been too fluid. Right. There's not too many people that you can go on and say Chris Brown isn't just. This may be the one straight R&B record on the album, but the whole album isn't that. They're making a lot of different things. It's Ariana Grande may make R&B. She may make this and that, but at the end of the day, she's considered a pop artist with all of these genres around.
I think that the fact is here, and I've always kind of had a problem with pop as a genre this way, is that any kind of music can be pop. Achy Breaky Heart is a pop record.
You could call that a pop record.
But it's clearly a country song.
It's a country song.
Right? So what it is pop is an all-accepting genre of music that niggas will listen to. So the problem with using pop as anything as a point for an argument is anything can be pop. But pop,
it has a sound, but
if a country song, hold on, if a country song, a rap song, an R&B song, a soft rock song can all be pop, then
but they all have something in common, fam. You can't make a Marilyn Manson song pop. So anything can't be pop.
It could be. Well, that's a thing, but that's a difference between the genre of pop and something being popular. Those are two different things.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to get. It's not popular. I'm saying pop has a sound. Have you ever listened to a pop radio station? Like, honestly, have y'all ever? I had to listen to that shit in the military.
Mm-hmm.
In my gym right now, I listen to pop radio.
PST in my area, yeah.
There's a sound to pop radio. There's certain things that's not going to be on that radio.
So let's do this, right? Let's do this, right? So the initial conversation was about R&B.
Mm-hmm.
Being dead is a genre, right?
So that was dead, but
that's where it started. That's where it started.
That's all I'm saying, right? So that would suggest that if R&B is dead, and we saying pop is the ultimate thing, right?
I'm not saying that, just to be clear, but
anytime something gets popular from any genre, they'll just grab it up as pop. Can we say that? Like that? That's what
I've seen that happen.
That's what L-Fam said, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go off of his definition or whatever, because I agree with that or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you have artists that are traditionally R&B that have elevated to pop levels and shit. However they started, they elevated to pop levels and shit, and we still see this shit to this day,
right?
So I'm saying R&B is not dead. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think it's just fucking Chris Brown and just the three niggas that you named and shit. And even if you're talking about The Weeknd, that's when we started going off the rails or whatever. The Weeknd started off making R&B music.
That's when he started, yeah.
He started off making R&B music. You know, however he's changing himself and shit. He's singing melodically and he's making R&B music and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Rihanna started off making R&B music and shit.
Right.
So I don't think R&B, like I'm just going back all the way to the full circle. I don't think R&B is dead. I actually think it's actually still as big as, or even bigger than hip hop and shit.
Well, to be honest,
but the thing is, we count black people, and that's why we think it's dead.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say.
Fucking Adele is the biggest shit ever. We only talking about fucking Beyonce and shit, but Adele, Sam Smith, what's the nigga? Harry Styles.
I'm not going to claim Harry Styles. You can claim. I would. Well, this is what I was going to say. I would call him pop. He may be trying to sing R&B songs, but that's a pop artist. That's one direction. But I was going to say this because the conversation's actually a little too mirrored. Just like there's popular music and there's a sound of pop. I think there are very popular, extremely popular people who were R&B artists. But I think that the R&B when people are talking about R&B being dead, they're specifically talking about the sound, and a lot of that is what we're talking about, a situation where, because let me give you an example. Someone like Usher, who's not been mentioned at all. Usher started out as an R&B artist, and he was a huge R&B artist. Once Yeah hit, that switch, he started becoming a pop artist. And at this point, even if he's in Vegas, going back to a lot of that stuff, and he's doing a lot of hip hop and a lot of R&B, but he became mainstream as a pop artist.
So my question,
that's what I'm saying.
There. My question is specifically with a song like Yeah, is that a pop record, or is that or more so? The question is Yeah not an R&B record?
I think you're right where Yeah's an R&B record, but I think what my point is more after that, after he had an R&B record that went popular, his sound became more of a pop sound. He started working with Diplo like an album or two later. Like he was transitioning into the shit you would hear at a Hollister store, or the shit you would hear at the trendy club in Miami. That, you know, that big. You know what I'm saying? Like and the thing is, even the sound of pop may be different after a certain time. It may have a more R&B. It may be more EDM. Not too long ago, they were saying hip hop was the biggest genre, and I think sales wise and the way a lot of shit sounds regular, that's what it is. But
you know, the biggest
at a certain point, they stop being what they are.
You know what the biggest fly in the ointment to this popular music as a genre, and then just like popular music actually being a genre, and popular music being just artists going popular. To me, the biggest fly in the ointment to that whole conversation is Tim's. Because those are all Afrobeat records.
Well, and that's a good point. That's a good point.
Look at them charts.
That's a good point. Well, it's all. I mean, the thing is, Afrobeat's already been the sound of stuff like black. Like the thing is, the first Black Panther soundtrack that was all Afrobeats. Like this it's a sound that's coming up. Beyonce when she did the Lion King shit I hate to keep bringing that stuff up, but it happens a lot. I don't know if like Afrobeat is not pop though. It's not crested to that level yet. But those records are gaining a lot of steam, especially with. Someone like Thames. And
Wizkid and Burna Boy and
the question. The thing is you'll know it's pop, you know one of those songs pops off when if you got like the one white person at your job who doesn't know anything about anything, they come and sing it, and like you're like, how the fuck you know that song? Oh, that was on the radio. My son loved that song. Oh yeah, they popped off.
God dang, when they start doing that Park High Strut, and
that's when you know
Park High Strut.
Somebody auntie up on TikTok doing the Park High Strut. Yeah, Thames popped off. You already know.
What's the news lady? What's the news lady that was doing the Park High Strut?
No.
The white lady.
Is it the one with Britt Waters?
Nah, it was Baltimore.
When the white lady that worked with Britt Waters started doing the park, you already know. You already know it's a rap.
This is the equivalent. It was the old white lady from Baltimore News that they had the little young dancer. I can't think of Buddy's name, but he's the nigga that made up the Park High Strut. He had the hat just like Broc. And that's the shoulders. That's the shoulders right there. If you get them shoulders, you got the dance. You right squint.
There. Maybe Broc. Did you invent it? That might have been Broc.
No.
It's the Broc High Strut. There you go.
Hey, but I'm not gonna lie. That's the cycle of this shit.
Right.
Like, as soon as that happens, this shit is corny now. Like as soon as you see your white boss neighbor.
Nah, I never do that.
That's out of here.
I never do that. I
can't give away culture like that. Yeah, and what I mean by that is
you ain't got to give it away. They took it already.
They got it already.
What I'm saying is,
give it away. They took it, my nigga.
But no. Once they copy it, what I'm saying is I can't give it away to the point where once they start doing it as whack, because they can't never do it the way we do it. And so when we do it over here, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Is Mary J. Blige. Mm-hmm. Mary J. Blige is the queen of hip hop soul. She's the queen of R&B, whatever you want to say. Whenever Mary come out, that's an amazing hip hop record. There's some of them records that go over there.
Some of them do, yeah.
That one over there. That's an R&B record.
They play that Essence Fest every motherfucking year.
Well, I will say this. I don't know. Mary's had a lot of she's an example of an R&B artist that's had a lot of popular records. I don't think she's ever gone pop. The couple times because she did an album with Disclosure that UK, and I don't know any records off that album. Like I don't think
that one Disclosure record is amazing.
No, Disclosure. Well, the funny thing is, fam, the Disclosure's biggest, the early record Latch. Sam Smith was on that. They made Sam Smith a pop artist off that song because it was just too undeniable. And now he's off where he is.
That record hard. I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all cut this off now. Go listen to that.
Disclose. It was that might have been the first single that popped off too.
Hey, listen, folks. Listen real quick. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, gotta go soon.
Yeah, I appreciate niggas. You know what I mean? Hold me down. Ill fam on everything. Something else. Black wrestling. You know what I mean? Follow us here. I gotta go, man. Love y'all niggas. Peace.
Peace. Yeah, we should get out of here before.
Likewise.
Broc beat me up talking about R&B beats. No, that conversation is good because there's always amazing R&B out there. It's
one of these things I want to have a real R&B conversation and shit. I didn't know y'all niggas like R&B like that and shit.
No, I will say I bring up Chris Brown a lot because I feel like him. There was a time where there was a lot of variety in R&B, but a lot of people hitched their wagon to him, and he kind of went down like, I'm gonna make what I want to listen to and what I want to do, and that was always popular, and that's why the Robert Glasper or whatever what was the situation with Chris Brown from the Grammys? What was the what was the dude?
Recent Grammys? What happened?
Yeah, you didn't hear about that? He was at least he was up for an award.
Yeah.
And he didn't get the award. And he got pissed because he didn't know who man's name was or who dude was that won the award.
Oh yeah,
it was It was Robert Glasper. He said he put on Instagram, "Who the fuck is Robert Glasper?" Now, mind you,
I don't know who that nigga is.
Robert Glasper produced a whole bunch of shit.
I was gonna say, yeah, Robert Glasper's been doing a lot of people that people love fuck with Robert Glasper. I'm trying to get his album, the one that just won the Grammy.
You said nobody what?
I'm saying nobody know him more than Chris Brown, so I'm not mad at Chris for saying that because I don't know who the nigga is. So,
no, that's because like
I get it. Like you saying he behind the scenes and he did.
No, he's not just behind the scenes. He's an amazing musician. Like I mean, like put it like this, yo. Like when you look at the Grammys, right? Because matter of fact, case in point, the guy who won the Grammy for the reggae album of the year, or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that he was on Chronix's album or whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he's big in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
If you focus on that genre, you know who these people are and shit. Doesn't mean that person is like, you know, like just out of nowhere and shit, or they're not big and shit. It's just they're not catching your attention.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Bad Bunny.
Even Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny is fucking huge.
It's some people that they never heard a Bad Bunny song.
You know Bad Bunny.
I don't give a fuck about her. So I get your
point.
No.
He said I don't give a fuck about her.
Yeah. Don't
tell him. Let him go.
I will say this is Robert Glasper's 5th Grammy, which is amazing. The fact, but that's kind of what it is. That was kind of my point. It's like,
but I don't mean to cut you off, Cal.
No, go ahead.
I get what you're saying, bro. But does it make sense what I'm saying? Like I get what you're saying. Like if you study that genre, but obviously, Chris, would you say he don't study R&B?
I'm not saying that it's wrong for Chris to say that because he can be uninformed about that shit.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like,
but you end up looking like a fucking dickhead when there's 2 billion people watching this motherfucker's shit.
Yeah, but in his
a lot of people in the world, you know what I mean? And you saying like, man, who the fuck is that motherfucker? Like you just sound like an entitled piece of shit.
Yeah.
Because I think the average person don't know.
No,
if you don't study, put it like this: more people. Would you say whoever the dude you say,
Robert Glasper?
Your point. You don't got a poker face, so I get what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just asking would you say that more people know that dude than Chris Brown?
More people know, but like I was saying, I think over the year, especially like the last 5-10 years, Chris Brown's been rocking in an area where he's kind of serving his fans and making music for himself and the people that he rocks with, which kind of insulates him from what's going on in the rest of the world.
Okay, just to be clear, when you say more people know, you saying more people.
No, he's saying no, not KNOW. You saying no?
Oh, more people, no. Gotcha. Okay.
Right. No fact. But my thing is, this man just won a Grammy for an album that's got, and I'm just reading some of the names. This ain't all the people on the album, but Q-Tip, Her, Common, Paz the News from De La, Jennifer Hudson, Top Dollar Sign, India Ari. What I'm trying to say is, if we're talking about not even people listening and who's got bigger fan bases, we're talking about your peers. Mm-hmm. If Chris Brown and Robert Glasper's in a room, mm-hmm. and they know all the people in this room, mm-hmm. and all these people know who they are, and mm-hmm. for some reason Chris Brown doesn't know this man, that's mm-hmm. on him because he's got himself in this bubble right now. That's all I'm saying. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised.
All I'm saying is,
let me say this to you real quick. This is another thing too. Chris Brown is a legacy artist at this point. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people know him for all of the shit that he's done. But do they know what he's doing right now more than they know what Robert Glasper is doing? Probably not.
I don't.
Ain't nobody. What'd you say?
I said I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. I would argue. Only thing I can argue is that more people know Chris than this nigga.
But what I'm saying is that's the way I'm answering that question. Mm-hmm. So like more people know Nas than Lil Uzi Vert.
I don't know. I don't agree with that. I would say more people know Lil Uzi Vert than Nas.
I think that's
because Lil Uzi Vert grew up in the internet.
Let's use Jay-Z. Let's use Snoop Dogg. Let's use Snoop Dogg. More people know Snoop Dogg than Lil Uzi Vert, right? Mm-hmm. So within the genre of rap music right now, if you were to say he's coming out with something, or he's coming out with something, who you think they're gonna buy more?
I don't. That's a hard question.
I'm just saying it's going to be more relevant to the people that listen to that music at that point in time.
Right.
They're going to probably buy that.
I get your point.
Not saying it's better or not, but they're going to buy that more so than that. But that's what I'm saying about the Chris Brown type of thing and shit.
Right.
I think Chris Brown, a lot of people know him, but they don't check on him and know what he's doing day to day and his music and all this other shit.
They may not be going out to see some of the new shit. They want to see him do "Excuse Me, Miss" or whatever.
Right. They're gonna go to concerts and stuff. But if he drops something,
bro, I get what y'all saying. I'm not disagreeing with y'all. I'm just asking, can y'all understand why Chris may say what he said? Even though it's ignorant. Like
I said that flat out, but it's ignorant though.
It's ridiculous. Facts.
I get it. Yeah. I'm clear on why he said it. 100%.
And somebody need to school him like y'all doing me and saying, "Nah, bro, you need to listen to this nigga.
You need to check it out."
He just wrote XYZ or did, whatever he did.
You might do a song with that nigga. Shit.
I will say, I mean, I did see it may have been a couple of days after this was going on, but Chris Brown did like he posted a DM that he sent dude was like my fault, I whatever and tried to piece it up.
And that's how you gotta humble yourself when you know a nigga this shit.
Right. And pay your homage. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
With that though, I got to slide, fellas. Much love, man. I appreciate y'all.
No doubt. We should get out of here. Salute to Ram. Salute to Broc.
I mean, everybody want to get a proper salute real quick.
We can do that.
Yes, you shout yourselves out.
This motherfucking Where's Buffy on everything? Check us out on all that shit. You can find me at Broccoli_Balboa and Herbs there on YouTube. Tune in.
Yeah. It's your boy Rimrock, aka the Trill Trainer, BKA the Black Bond, M&E Fit Camp on everything. You see it right there. I always fuck this up right there. So yeah, what's up, Cal? What are you talking about, man?
At Cal on Twitter, at Black Wrestling, everywhere else, youtube.com/Black Wrestling, youtube.com/Where's Buffy Podcast. Please hit that subscribe button wherever we at. Where's Buffy.com, Where's Buffy.com, Where's Buffy.com. We are out of here. Shout out to fam. Big facts. Have a good weekend, y'all. Peace.